Hey guys, Hades here. Today I wanted to talk a little bit about Easter. So you might pick up some vocabulary and mainly maybe some culture stuff. Now, if you're from a country that celebrates Easter, then you probably already know the religious part. Maybe you don't know exactly how it's celebrated in the not religious part is celebrated in the US. You might get something out of it for that. I developed this mostly for Chinese students because they don't celebrate Easter much at all in China. Okay, what is Easter? What religion celebrates Easter? What do people do on Easter? And what day is Easter always on? Okay, I know I wrote here Easter began as a Christian holiday, but it is a Christian holiday today, but it actually started earlier in pre-Christian times, basically celebrating a goddess Eostre, which represented the spring, and it's still got some pagan things tied to it. But these days, it's mostly a celebration of the resurrection of Jesus Christ, who was killed by Romans 3 days prior. And of course, Jesus Christ is the predominant figure in the Christian religion. What is Good Friday? Good Friday is the Friday before Easter. It's said to be the day that Christ died. Good Friday is always on a Friday, and Easter is always on a Sunday. What is Lent? Lent in Catholicism precedes Easter and is supposed to be a 40-day period of fasting. However, modern religious people might give up something else instead of food. And a lot of Catholic people might not give up anything. Lent always begins on Ash Wednesday and lasts approximately 6 weeks. And as far as Catholics or Catholicism goes, basically they're the first Christians. That's the part of Christianity that's been around the longest. Although in the early Christianity, I'm not sure they refer to themselves as Catholic, but today they do. And today's Catholicism is what other Christian sects came from. Lent always begins on Ash Wednesday, like I said, and lasts approximately 6 weeks. And as I said, most people no longer fast for Lent, but many people give up something important to them for the duration of the period, and a lot of them don't. If you celebrated Lent, what would you give up for it? Easter is not on the same day every year as are most Western holidays. Easter is always on the first Sunday after the first full moon after March 21st in the US, and I believe in a lot of other countries. Right, so the year starts. Then we come to March. Then we come to March 21st. Then we wait for the first full moon. And then after the first full moon, it's going to be on the first Sunday. So that can vary, right? It varies through the year because the lunar cycle doesn't actually represent the calendar we use. In addition to attending church and worshiping on Easter, what other things do people do? What is the Easter bunny? What animals can represent Easter? The Easter Bunny is a fictional creature that comes and brings candy and other gifts to children on Easter morning, similar to Santa Claus at Christmas. Chicks and bunnies are animals that represent Easter. Basically, a chick is a baby chicken. Also, sometimes a slang term for females in the US. What is spring break? Spring break is a holiday that students get from school, and it used to always fall around Easter time. I honestly don't know. Maybe something's changed since then. When I was younger, it used to fall around Easter time. Students usually get 1 week off, although when I was in elementary school, I only got, it wasn't a full week. We just got maybe a four day weekend. But when I got to middle school, high school, college, students usually get 1 week off. And for college students, it's often associated with a trip somewhere that's popular and a lot of partying. Similar to Santa Claus, on Christmas, the Easter Bunny sneaks into people's homes and leaves treats and candy. He will often hide plastic eggs with candy inside of them, indoors or outdoors. Now, this can vary by family. Usually, when I was a child, my brother and I would wake up and my parents would hide little plastic eggs with candy in them around the house. And they'd also have a big Easter basket that would have a lot more candy in it that we had to find too. As I said earlier, most of the traditions for Easter dates back to pagan times, like most of the traditions of Christmas. Eggs, bunnies, candy, and baskets have very little to do with the Christian aspects of Easter. And again, what I said my family does, maybe not every family does that. It could be, different from family to family what exactly they do on Easter. Many people will decorate hard boiled eggs on the Saturday before Easter, right? The day before Easter. What we did in my family is we would, when my brother and I went to bed, we would leave these eggs out in the basket. And the Easter Bunny, which is really, my parents, would come in and take the eggs out of the basket, put them in the refrigerator, and we would eat them later. And then they would fill the basket with candy and hide it somewhere in the house. Yeah, as I just said, children wake up the next morning and find plastic eggs, although not every family does that. Also, the Easter basket was hidden, and there was more candy. There was more candy inside that. Again, this varied. I had friends whose family did things a little differently. I had one friend. They would just get up in the morning, have some candy. Nothing was hidden. It depends. People do this. It's not standard for everyone. Many people organize large outdoor Easter egg hunts where many children will look for eggs in a large park or field. Like some churches might do that, or other organizations, right? Might spend a lot of time getting up very early that Sunday morning and inviting communities of children over to find eggs. And as you can see there on that picture, it looks like these are very small children and they don't have to look too terribly hard for the eggs because it seems they're all just spilled out right in front of them. Maybe for the older children, they'd be hidden more back in the trees. All right, what is a scavenger hunt? A scavenger hunt is a little different than an Easter hunt, or the Easter egg hunt. The reason I asked that question in this is because I had an activity a number of years ago where we went on a scavenger hunt instead of an Easter egg hunt. It's a scavenger hunt is often you get a list and you have to find these items on that list. Like for example, you might get a list that says pencil and I don't know, a cigarette lighter and a bunch of other things, and you have to wander around until you find these items, which can be kind of fun, but not normally associated with Easter. Okay, guys, thank you. This is a real quick one just on Easter. Hope you have a happy Easter or just a good normal Sunday if you don't celebrate. Thank you. See you next time.